Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is VirtualNunchucks. Welcome to the channel. I'm so glad you're here. Today, what I have for you is a little bit of an opinion piece slash analyst or analytical discussion, something like that. Anyway, we're going to talk about why one world gaming, in other words, gaming where everybody gets to play on the same console, everybody's happy, and nobody has to worry about having exclusives anymore. It's never going to happen. It's just not. We're going to talk about that, but before we do that, I want to remind you guys that our first review of the year, um, or our first major review of the year, is going to be in the next few weeks. Maneater on PS4, which is the open world shark game coming out on May 22nd, will be at my house on day one. We're going to maybe show some gameplay off, stuff like that, but we're also going to review it as quickly as we can for you guys. So if you want to see that, please remember to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you're notified whenever the content hits the channel, because Monday through Friday we try to do something fun, entertaining, educational, and every once in a while thought-provoking on this channel, whether it's news updates, opinion pieces, gameplay, reviews, and of course news about the latest and greatest disabled gamer peripherals like controllers and stuff like that. Because I'm a disabled gamer, that's important to me as well. So if that interests you, also consider subscribing. We'll talk to you guys. Anyway, so there you go. Alright, so let's talk a little bit. For those of you who have been following me for a little bit, you know that I am a disabled person again. You also know that I have a degree in business. You also know that I've worked for companies like Disney, AT&T, things like that. So I have been out in the world for a long time, and I'm old, according to my son. So I have some experience as to how the business world works. And I have to admit, I'm a little guilty of this too. But there was a lot of talk around the release of Modern Warfare 2019 about cross-play being a big deal for them. You're going to be able to play with PS4, Xbox players, and PC players. That is true. You can do that on Call of Duty 2019, otherwise known as Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019. You can do that. That's awesome. And there was also an article regarding Microsoft and Xbox teaming up, or Microsoft and Sony teaming up to use their cloud servers, and talking about MLB 21 becoming cross-platform. Sony San Diego is still going to do the game itself, but it's going to be multi-platform. So everybody got really excited, saying, "Well, this is going to be the last console generation, or the console generation where everybody gets to play together." No, I'm afraid it's not. And we're going to talk about that in depth. I'm going to give you some numbers to think about. I'm going to give you some evidence to back that up. And of course, if you disagree with me, because again, at the end of the day, this is an opinion piece, but it's based on something that I saw this weekend. You can always disagree with me, just as long as you're respectful, and we can have a discussion about it in the comments section below. But in the meantime, I hope you like the video, and if you do, drop a like on the video. Alright, so let's talk. This weekend I had the unique opportunity to help my wife do her job, and I don't talk about Virtual Mom much on this channel, other than to tell you that she's working from home or whatever, but she's an analyst for her job, for her company. And she's a business analyst, which means that she looks at the various competitors in her field, and she sees if their pricing models and their revenue streams and their different things, how they compare with her company's revenue streams, pricing models, etc. And her job is to see if they can compete with those competitors in different markets. And if they can compete, great. If they can beat them, great. And her job is to figure out if they can beat them, how they can beat them, and if there's any way for them to compete and grow. That's their job. And I got to help her do that, and that was exciting to me because y'all know I worked for Disney, AT&T, and I really enjoyed working, but unfortunately I'm not able to do that anymore. But I got to do that a little bit this weekend, and it was fun. But in the process, I found some information out. I decided to do a little digging on our favorite console companies, specifically Sony and Microsoft. And what I found was that their fiscal year last year, for both of them, were pretty good. We're going to talk about that. Let's talk about Sony first. Sony, as you know, is a movie company. They're a tech company. They started out as a tech company first. They diversified into from Walkman to CD to music to now they're into movies with they own Columbia Pictures and things like that. Own the rights to Spider-Man and a bunch of other stuff as far as movie rights go. X-Men, not X-Men, but yeah, Spider-Man mostly. But anyway, but they also do PS4 and gaming, just like Microsoft has computers and Windows and phones and all that stuff. Anyway, Sony posted a record profit fiscal year last year, or not a record profit, but a fairly substantial profit of $78 billion with a B dollars. And I got to digging around in Sony's portfolio a little bit. Of that $78 billion with a B dollars, 20.87 billion was generated on PS4 games, consoles, and PSN sales. To do the math really quick and dirty for you, that is roughly about 28 point something percent of the entire revenue stream for fiscal year last year. That's a lot of money. And everybody got really excited about the fact, well, you know, MLB The Show 2021 is going to be awesome because it's going to be a multi-platform. Everybody can play this amazing game, and the year of the console wars is coming to an end. I know I was guilty of saying something very similar when I first heard about it. I know several YouTubers that have said almost the exact same thing, whether it's via Twitter or on their own channels. But the more I dig into it, the less likely this is going to be. And I'm going to tell you why. Before I do that, Xbox. Let's talk about Xbox for a second. Microsoft posted, I forget how many billions and billions of dollars worth of profit. But for the first time ever last year, Xbox's profit margin was 10 billion with a B. That is half of what Sony did. It's no dispute that Sony is the reigning champion this generation. But they admitted in their investor call that their biggest sales come from third-party games. They said that first. Third-party games, followed by Game Pass and gold subscriptions to their online service. And then somewhere down the line, 4 or 5 points down the line, is first-party game sales. So they are seriously losing that battle. But they were excited because for the first time ever, they had made a profit of $10 billion in their gaming department. Well, that's great and wonderful. So it's really cool. Again, probably the biggest one that they made money off of was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 because it allowed them to do cross-play between PC, Xbox, and PS4. And they were really excited about that. But let me enlighten you a little bit. If you think that they're going to say, okay, well, we're done with the console wars, I'm not worried about who makes the most money, and I'm not worried about who does this or that, you're crazy. They went out and bought Obsidian Entertainment and the makers behind Hellblade and all these different studios Microsoft did. They bought like a crap ton of the studios in the last 6 months to a year. You think they're doing that because they want to cross-play with people? No. They're doing that because they want to be the first party. They want to be... Xbox wants to be the place to play. Just like Sony says. You know, it's the place to play. But they want to be the place to play. So they bought up all these stuff so they can have first-party titles and first-party everything so that they can make inroads into Sony's profit margin and Nintendo's profit margin because Nintendo's just down the road from Xbox. Well, here's the thing. You can't do that if you're playing nice. They're in a partnership to use their cloud servers. Yes. They're cross-playing with Call of Duty right now and Fortnite and things like that. Yes. And Sony is making MLB The Show 21 multi-platform. Yes. But I can guarantee you it's a test bed. It's a test bed to see if they can cut into each other's profit margin. It's a test bed to see how well it sells. If they do well, they may experiment with that a little bit more. But Sony also went and bought Insomniac Games, the makers behind Spider-Man PS4. They bought a few other studios, but that's the only one that comes to mind right now. Insomniac Games, in case you're not familiar, made Ratchet and Clank, Spider-Man PS4, a whole bunch of other titles, as well as a few other studios that they picked up to strengthen their first-party lineup as well. Because there's a new console generation coming out. They're expecting that both companies are expecting that they'll make more profit. The reason they're seeing a decline in sales is because they're expecting the new generation of consoles to do well. You don't do that if you're going to play nice with everybody. MLB The Show 21 probably was an agreement between the MLB and Sony and everybody else to prevent the license for the MLB going to other companies. Because I guarantee you there's a clause in there, or there's a provision in there, that the exclusive license lasts until X time, and after that MLB can go shopping other places and things like that. So I wonder if that was not a conversation that was had that said, hey, don't leave us, we'll make a multi-platform, you can make money other places besides us, and if you stay with us for a little bit longer, we'll see how this goes. If this goes well, fine, wonderful, everybody made money, and then we'll renegotiate our contract, see where we are in a year. I can almost guarantee you that was the conversation that was had. Maybe not exactly like that, but close. Microsoft wants to be number one. Any business is out to make money, unless you're a non-profit. But even then, you still have to pay your employees, so in a way, you have to make money too. But every business other than non-profits are out to make money. If you think that Microsoft or Sony is going to lay down and say, okay, everybody can play in one world and everybody's going to be happy, everybody can play together, sorry. They still want to be the place to play. They want to shore up their first-party content. They want to shore up all that stuff so they can be number one. That's their goal. They want to be the driving force. Microsoft Gaming wants to be the driving force of Microsoft as much as possible, just like PlayStation is their driving force right now for Sony. Okay? You diversify if you want to be a successful company nowadays. So I don't think that we all need to get excited about crossplay too much. Yes, it'd be nice to see it. We probably are going to see a little bit more of that from time to time, but I can guarantee you it's going to be on mostly third-party games like Call of Duty, Fortnite, PUBG, whatever. And it's most of the first-party titles are still going to be exclusive to those respective companies. It's not going to happen. Not anytime soon. They're more worried about cloud gaming as a whole, not necessarily Google Stadia, because Google Stadia right now is having a lot of trouble. Number one, we don't have the infrastructure internet-wise yet to handle that. Number two, they want to get ready because everybody says that cloud gaming is the future of gaming. Well, only if we get the infrastructure. In the meantime, though, they're trying to build that partnership back and forth so that they can do cloud gaming, because if cloud gaming is the future, then things like Sony's games may, in the future, in the very distant future, in my opinion, end up on things like Google Stadia. When we have a more stable Netflix of gaming, you might see Sony be on something, or Microsoft be on something, or whatever. But in the meantime, they're kind of hedging their bets, and they're going with what's safe. And what's safe is buying up studios, first-party content, and they're experimenting with all this other stuff. I can guarantee you, if the experiment with MLB The Show 2021 and the deal with the cloud servers falls through, it's just going to be gaming wars as usual. Now again, this is my opinion. This doesn't mean that it's, gospel or anything. But I was right about Google Stadia when it came out. It's having trouble. I'm not right about everything, but I do see some things. But if you disagree with me, you're free to disagree with me. Just remember, we can have a conversation as long as we're respectful to one another. That's what I ask, is that if you disagree, if you have another opinion, we can share that, we can talk about it, and we can discuss it. As long as we're respectful. I'm okay with that. In the meantime, I hope you found something interesting. I hope I scratched a little bit of curiosity so that you'll dig around and do a little bit of research yourself. And if it was educational, if you liked the video, please drop a like on it. Don't forget, you can follow me on Facebook.com/VirtualNunchucks, over on Twitter @VNunchucks, and of course, Twitch.tv/VirtualNunchucks, where when I finally do go live again, you guys who are following me will know first that I'm going live, because that's how it is. Alright, but don't forget, I'm over on Twitter most of the time, again, @VNunchucks, all the time. Here on YouTube, this is my main focus, so if you want to follow me, if you want to keep tabs on what's going on in the gaming industry, just remember, hit that subscribe button, and of course turn on the notification bell so you're notified whenever content hits the channel. Hope this video finds you guys well. Hope you guys learned something, and I hope that you have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video, okay? Bye.